okay, which is acting as a hallucino, okay, that is okay, it interferes with the a neurotransmitter substance, that is the dopamine. And next, okay, it is a potent stimulation, okay, stimulant, and acts on the central by acting on the central nervous system, okay, producing a sense of euphoria and increased energy and next, excessive dosage of cocaine causes hallucinations, okay, excessive dosage of hallucinations. And next, other well-known plants with hallucinogenic properties are Atropa belladonna and Datura. Okay, that means the chemicals that are present in this Atropa belladonna and Datura. Okay, that is these also have certain alkaloids, and these alkaloids are also having certain hallucinogenic effect. And next, okay, that is this is okay. These are the some of the alkaloids that are produced by certain plants like Erythroxylum coca, Atropa belladonna, and next Datura. Okay, these are all acting as a hallucinogenic, okay, causing hallucinogenic effects, okay, when they are intaken. Okay, and next, these days cannabinoids are also being abused by some sports persons. Okay, the cannabinoids are also being abused by some sports persons, okay, to increase their performance. Okay, these cannabinoids are also certain stimulants, and they are also okay, they are used as used by the sports persons to increase their performance. That's why, okay, but it is not accepted. Okay, these are not accepted in the sports. That's why we're saying these days cannabinoids are also being abused by some sports persons. Okay, that is these are all okay drugs, okay, that are obtained from plants and which are abused. And there are some drugs like barbiturates, amphetamines, benzodiazepines, and other similar drugs that are normally used as medicines to help patients cope with mental illness like depression and insomnia. Insomnia means a lack of sleep. Insomnia means a lack of sleeplessness. Okay, that phenomena we are calling it as insomnia. So those persons who are okay, having this insomnia condition and some depression, okay, for those patients, to treat those patients we use these drugs like barbiturates, amphetamines, benzodiazepines, and other okay, and other drugs. Okay, these okay are medicines. Usually they are used as medicines, but what is happening means, okay, but these are often abused. Okay, that means insomnia, that means whenever he is okay feeling sleepless, okay, at that time, okay, that means whenever he is not getting sleep, at that time they can take these drugs and get sleep for a certain period of time. But what happens means they are getting slowly getting addicted to these drugs, and without these drugs they are unable to live. So that's why we are saying abused, are often abused. That means even though they are having medicine, but if they are okay, if they are okay, whenever they are required, when if they take that, then we can call it as medicine. But Even if they are not required also, they are intaking these medicines. Okay, and that's why we are saying abused. And another thing, okay, morphine, already we discussed. Morphine is a very effective sedative and painkiller and is very useful in patients who have undergone surgery. Is also abused. Okay, this morphine is a very effective sedative and painkiller. Okay, it causes sedation and painkiller. That means when a person undergoes a surgery, okay, the patient will suffer from a lot of pain. In that condition, the patient during the initial days of after surgery, they are usually given certain painkillers or sedatives. Okay, that mainly consists of morphine, because this morphine is an effective sedative and painkiller and is very useful in patients who have undergone surgery. But okay, even after the treatment is over also, if the patient is continued to take this morphine, because as it is a sedative, so the if the person continues to take morphine, okay, so it is considered as abused. So that is okay. And next, several plants, fruits, and seeds have having hallucinogenic properties have been used for hundreds of years in folk medicine, religious ceremonies, and rituals all over the globe. Okay, several plants which are naturally obtained. Okay, several plants like ganja. Okay, fruits. Okay, and seeds which are having hallucinogenic properties. Okay, that is are used for hundreds of years in folk medicine. Folk medicine means that is a, we say, local medicine. Okay, and next, religious ceremonies. In the religious
Siddha
ceremonies,
medicine.
like, okay, religious ceremonies. Religious ceremonies means we can say like okay, in holy, okay, and some other festivals like that we can take. Okay, they are taking, and the rituals all over the globe means during okay, some celebrations that are taking place in the family members. Okay, that is okay. During that, okay, they used to take this different substances that are obtained from different plants, which are having this hallucinogenic properties. And next, when these are taken for a purpose other than medicinal use, or in amounts or frequency that impairs one's physical, physiological, or psychological functions, it constitutes a drug abuse. Okay, that means all these are having medicinal value. The atropa, belladonna, datura, morphine, okay, cocaine. We can observe now. When you observe the cough syrup, okay, cough syrup in your home. Once go and check. Okay, on that we'll find codeine. Codeine. Okay, that codeine is nothing but a combination of a cocaine only. It's a derivative of cocaine only, which gives a little bit sedation. It's a sedative. That's why when a person takes this cough syrup, he will get sleep. Even you can also say, okay, if you are coughing, okay, if you are taken the syrup, sir, I'm suffering from a cough, sir, so I took a cough syrup, sir, so that's why I'm getting sleep. Like that, you also say when during the class school time. Okay, suffering from cold, so I took some syrup, sir. Like that, you will say, okay, why? Okay, when you take syrup, have some sedative effect. Why it is having that sedative effect means because of the presence of this different medicines which are having this among this only. So that is so if you are taking for medicinal use, no problem. Okay, if you are taking for medicinal purpose, and by the time, for example, you are suffering from cough, so you have taken some cough syrup. Okay, cough syrup. Okay, till when you are suffering from cough, up to that time, if you are taking the cough syrup means okay. If you are taking beyond that, even after the cough was reduced, also you are showing interest to take that cough syrup. Or, for example, if a person is suffering from insomnia, so he is taking certain drugs, okay, which is prescribed by the doctor. The dosage what the doctor has prescribed, and he has given for a certain period of time, and for that period only you are taking the drug, so no problem. But even after the condition was reduced or subsided, also still you are continuing the intake of the drug, that is called abuse. So if you are taking that drug other than medicinal use in amounts or frequency that impairs one physical, that means already you are became normal, but still you are continuing. Okay, that means the amount is increased and the frequency is increased. Instead of taking only once in a day, you are taking 2 times or 4 times. Okay, and in that case, what happens? It will it will damage your physical. Okay, physical. And next, some activities, physiological activities that are taking place in our body is changing, and psychological function. That means psychologically also some disturbances. You will enter into depression. Okay, that such psychological changes are also observed when you are taking the drug beyond the prescribed by the doctor. So it results in a change in a physiological or psychological functions. It constitutes drug abuse. Then we can say the person is undergoing drug abuse. Okay, that is. And next, and what? Okay, some other reasons. Okay, some other ways by which the abuse is taking place. Smoking. Okay, also paves the way to hard drugs. Okay, smoking also paves the way to hard drugs. Okay, that is. And next, when you observe here, tobacco has been used by human beings for more than 400 years. Okay, the person will starts with the smoking with the tobacco, but later on, okay, that tobacco smoking is not enough for him, so it will be paved to other usage of other drugs, or he will be prone to other drugs also. Okay, and the human beings are using tobacco since 400 years. Okay, how tobacco is taken by the human means? It is smoked, chewed, or used as a snuff. Okay, snuff. Okay, that means this tobacco is made into powder and it is placed inside the nose, and it is taken inside. That is called snuffing. Smoked means that that is cigarette smoking, cigar smoking. Okay, and chewed. Okay, they are chewed. They are placed in their mouth and they are chewing. Okay, in the form of pan or something like that, in different ways. Okay, that is, it is smoked, chewed, or used as a snuff. Okay, and next, tobacco contains a large number of chemical substances, including nicotine and alkaloid. Okay, some different types of chemicals around. Okay, already while we are discussing about cancer, I have told you around 42 different types of chemicals are present in the tobacco, which can cause cancer, which can prone to cancer. Of that, very important one is an alkaloid called nicotine. It is the most potent chemical that is present in the tobacco, which is causing cancer in human. So tobacco contains a large number of chemical substances, including nicotine. So a large number of chemical substances are there. In that, important one is nicotine and alkaloid. It is an alkaloid like a cocaine. Cocaine is also an alkaloid which is present in erythropoietin. But this nicotine is also an alkaloid but present in Nicotiana tobacco. Okay, that is. And next, when you observe here, whenever any person smoke or chews or snuffs the tobacco, you think that okay, he will be a little bit energized. He feels that I was energized, and he feels a certain pleasure. That is not exactly. Initially, it looks like that. Okay, but slowly it causes a depressant. Okay, it is a depressant. It causes a depression.
Sir, tobacco
Okay,
is virus, sir.
Esma, come
Is
again.
tobacco a virus, sir?
Tobacco is not a virus, ma. Okay, tobacco affected with a virus called Nico. Okay, that is the tobacco mosaic virus.
Ah, okay, sir.
TMV virus. Okay, TMV. That is another. Okay, a virus which causes infection to the tobacco plant. We are calling as tobacco mosaic virus. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, and this nicotine, which is an alkaloid, initially it appears like a stimulant, but actually it is a depressant. Okay, why means when you observe this nicotine stimulates adrenal gland to release adrenaline and noradrenaline into blood circulation, both of which raise blood pressure and increases heart rate. Understand? So why? Okay, the person feels a little bit of pleasure and energized or activated means because of the release of this hormone adrenaline from the adrenal gland, adrenaline and noradrenaline gland. We all know very well this adrenaline is the hormone which is mainly responsible for a increase in the heartbeat and okay and this adrenaline is usually produced in the persons when he was frightened or when he was okay subjected to some adverse conditions and makes the person to cope up with the change in the conditions. Okay, but here it is done by the nicotine. So nicotine stimulates adrenal gland to release adrenaline and noradrenaline into blood circulation, both of which raise blood pressure and increase heart rate. That's why smoking is associated with the increased incidence of cancers of lung, urinary bladder, and throat, bronchitis, emphysema, coronary heart disease, gastric ulcer, etc. Okay, we can see. Okay, a large number of people died of throat cancers. This is the main reason for the occurrence of death due to cancer in the world, especially in India. That is the main reason for the death of cancer. Okay, most of them they are affected with the throat cancers. Why? Because of the usage of this tobacco. Okay, 65% of the deaths due to cancer occurred due to the throat cancers only because of the intake of tobacco, either smoking or chewing or snuffing. Okay, and it affects different parts of our body like lungs, because okay, in the smoking, the persons who continuously smoke, okay, they are mostly affected with this cancers of lung. And next, not only that, they are also affecting the urinary bladder. Okay, and okay, that is cancer of urinary bladder and cancer of throat. And not only that, we are also observing the bronchitis, emphysema. These are all related to lungs. Okay, that is the respiratory system, bronchitis and emphysema. And next, coronary heart disease. Okay, that means the coronary arteries are getting affected. As a result, the heart, because coronary arteries are the arteries which will bring blood to the heart. As okay, as the coronary arteries are affected, as a result, the heart is getting affected. So that's why we are saying coronary heart disease. And next, gastric ulcer. That means okay, those persons who are chewing this tobacco, okay, these chemicals will enter into the digestive system, and it is causing ulcers in the stomach and other parts of the digestive system. And next, tobacco chewing is associated with the increased risk of cancer of the oral cavity. So among the smoking, snuffing, and chewing of tobacco is very much dangerous when compared to ways. Okay, chewing of tobacco is more dangerous because it is increasing the risk of cancer of oral cavity, that is throat cancers. And next, smoking increases carbon monoxide content in the blood and reduces the concentration of heme-bound oxygen. This causes oxygen deficiency in the body. So that means the person who is smoking, what he is inhaling the smoke, no, that smoke consists of more of carbon monoxide. We all know very well the hemoglobin will show more affinity towards carbon monoxide when compared to oxygen and carbon dioxide. So this hemoglobin binds with this carbon monoxide. As a result, the transport of oxygen to the organs is affected. So as a result, the organs are made deficient with the oxygen. As a result, the organs slowly start degenerating. Those organs which do not receive proper oxygen. And next, when one buys packets of cigarettes, one cannot miss the statutory warning that is present on the packing, which warns against smoking and says how it is injurious to health. Okay, before only a single line has been there, but now, okay, one photo will also be there on the cigarette packet. Okay, what are the different ways it is damaging? Okay, it is damaging the lungs, it is damaging the it is damaging the gastric. Okay, like that, showing different photographs along with the statutory warning. Okay, cigarette smoking is injurious to health and it causes cancer. Okay, even in the theaters also. Okay, at the beginning and next during when the okay in the movie when the okay any character is smoking or chewing or something. Okay, we can observe this statutory warning. So that's okay, but no one will look at that statutory warning. Okay, because they were abusing. Okay, they are abused with that cigarette smoking. So, and says how it is injurious to health. Yet smoking is very prevalent in society, both among young and old. Okay, even though that, okay, such a warnings are also given and photographs and everything has been given, but still, okay, the usage of tobacco, that is smoking, is prevalent both in young as well as in old. Knowing these dangers of smoking and chewing tobacco and its addictive nature, the youth and old need to avoid these habits. So that means the dangerous effects. By understanding the dangerous effects of using tobacco, that is by smoking or chewing or snuffing, whatever it is. Okay, and its addictive nature. That means okay, they are addicted. Okay, they feel like if they don't, okay, if they have not taken, okay, if they are not smoked or if they are not chewed tobacco, okay, they are causing certain problems. Okay, some changes are taking place physically, physiologically and psychologically in their body. Okay, like that, okay, they have developed, that is what we calling it as addictive nature. So the youth and old need to avoid these habits, so they have to avoid, because once they started it, they, okay, it will develop as an addiction. So they have to avoid in the initially only. So any addict requires counseling and medical help to get rid of the habit. So if any person is addicted, if he wants, okay, if he wants to come out of that addiction, definitely he requires a certain counseling. That means okay, the okay, we have to take him to a psychiatrist, okay, psychiatrist or this rehabilitation centers. Okay, there, okay, they'll give counseling and certain treatment to get rid out of this addiction or habit. Okay, that is okay. That is how these are the some of the chemical substances that which are regularly abused. And then another one is adolescence and drug or alcohol abuse. Okay, that means when you observe here, the major age during which, okay, the youth are getting addicting to certain substances is the adolescence. That is the very important age in any one's life. That age, okay, if you are done in a proper way, then their life will also be in a proper way. Okay, if any disturbance occurs at this age, that one will be continued throughout their life and they will lose their life. So that's why. So adolescence means both a period and a process during which a child becomes mature in terms of his or her attitudes and beliefs for effective participation in society. Because, okay, that is the age. That is the age. Okay, that is the age period and a process. The child becomes mature. That means he will be maturing, transforming period, we can say. Okay, and his attitude or her attitude and beliefs, whatever he understand at that age, that one will be strongly registered in their minds during this age group, that is adolescence. So that's why that attitude and beliefs for participation, okay, for effective participation. So whatever he thinks, he believes, or whatever he develops his attitude, that should be helping the society. That should helps in the, or that participation will help the society to develop. Okay, like that he has to undergo the changes. So the period between 12 to 18 years of age may be thought of as adolescence period. So which period? That is the period between 12 to 18 years is considered as the adolescence period. So in other words, adolescence is a bridge linking childhood and adulthood. Okay, after 18 we say adult. Okay, and below 12 we call it as a child, that is children. So between this childhood and adulthood, this adolescence is the period which is acting as a bridge, like plus one, plus two. Now you are in plus one, plus two now. This plus one, plus two is acting as a bridge to the school level and for the college level. It is intermediate. Okay, it is the inter. Okay, that means in between the school and the college. Okay, after this we are no more, you are no more called as a school. Okay, it is no more called as school, it is called as college. Okay, so that is plus one, plus two is an interstage. In the same manner, in the life of a person also, the age between 12 to 18 years is also considered as a linking period or bridge between the childhood and adulthood. And that period we are calling it as adolescence. So adolescence is accompanied by several biological and behavioral changes. So during this period, a lot of changes occur in the human, not only in the human, in any organism. In any organism during this period, a lot of changes occur biologically and behaviorally. So some behavior, okay, with the society or with the bill, okay, with the surrounding or with the society and all that, that behavior also changes, and some biological changes also occur in the body. Okay, some, that is. And next, adolescence thus is a very vulnerable phase of mental and psychological development of an individual. So that means it is a highly vulnerable, that means easily undergoes changes, or he will, okay, easily undergoes, okay, he can easily mold to, or easily get attracted, or easily enters into any stage because of that okay, changes that are taking place in his body because of different biological and behavioral changes. So it is very vulnerable phase of mental and psychological development of an individual. So whatever the it makes up his mind, okay, and up to the, okay, at this age, if he takes the right decision, okay, he will do good in his life, or he will be in a better position in his life. Okay, if he has undergone certain changes, okay, that means okay, if he has done in a wrong way, or if he turns all his ways in a wrong ways, okay, and he will turns all into the wrong way. So that's why this age is very important, the adolescence. So that's why it is very, okay, easily undergoes changes and get. So the vulnerable phase of mental and psychological development of an individual. And next, why this, okay, at this age, okay, when you observe, most of the people are addicted to certain drugs, are abused at this age only. Why? Because of certain ailments, that is like a curiosity, because of the curiosity. Okay, what, okay, what is there, what is that, Okay, what happens when you take? Okay, you'll think that okay, I can take only once and I will check it how it is. But later on, it becomes as a habit and you'll get addicted. Okay, like that. So curiosity, need for adventure and excitement. So that is the age where you'll find certain curiosity. Okay, you'll find certain curiosity. Okay, I have to know everything. I should know. Okay, and I know everything, so I can make use of it. So such a certain curiosity will be there. So that curiosity, okay, curiosity, need for adventure and excitement. And next, experimentation constitute common causes which motivate youngsters towards drug and alcohol use. So that means they want to do certain experiments. And next, they want to do certain adventure. Okay, if I take this one, what happens? And okay, that person is taking, why I should, okay, why I should not take? Okay, if I take, what happens? Nothing will happen. Okay, a little bit curiosity, adventure, okay, excitement, and next, experimentation. All these are proning this age people for a drug and alcohol use. Okay, initially it transforms. Okay, it will be started as a use, but it natural curiosity motivates him or her to experiment. This is complicated further by effects that might be perceived as benefits of alcohol or drug use. Okay, that is it. Okay, and later what happens? This is complicated further by effects that might be perceived as benefits of alcohol or drug use. That means because of this curiosity, adventures, excitement, and experimentation. What? Okay, if you take drugs or alcohol, definitely they cause certain health problems, not immediately in the later period of your life. That one we know very well. But okay, this curiosity, adventure, and excitement, experiment, all these are dominating in that age, and you are prone to usage of this alcohol or drug. So thus the first use of drugs or alcohol may be out of curiosity or experimentation, but the later child starts using these to escape facing problems. Okay, that means initially when the initially the person is taking the drug or alcohol, okay, because of their curiosity or experimentation, but later on, okay, that means later on the child starts using this to escape facing problems. That means in his life, if he faced any problem, to get rid of that problem, drug, okay, which will be a little bit sedative, or he will take a certain alcohol, so that because of that hallucination, okay, he will enter into a resting stage. So that is so like that he developed. So of late, stress from pressures to excel in academics or examinations has played a significant role in persuading the youngsters to to try alcohol and drugs. So so that means the first initially because of curiosity, and later to avoid the problems, and later on, okay, the pressures that are developed in his lifetime, okay, because of academics. That means whatever he is doing in his day-to-day life, okay, to in his okay classes, or okay, to get rid of examination, okay, he started taking the drugs, or he was okay, taking the alcohol. So the perception, okay, the perception among youth that it is cool or progressive to smoke, use drugs or alcohol is also in a way a major cause for youth to start these habits. Okay, the perception among youth that is cool or progressive to smoke. Okay, that means okay, they think that okay, those people who are taking okay this alcohol or drugs or smoking, they will consider as a like a hero. Okay, they will think that they are like heroes. Okay, they will they build like that. Okay, that psychologically they build like that. So that perception, that's what we say, the perception among youth that it is cool or progressive to smoke, use drugs or alcohol is also in a way a major cause for youth to start these habits. And along with that, television, movies, newspapers, internet also help to promote this perception. Okay, and other factors that have been seen to be associated with the drug and alcohol abuse among adolescents are unstable or unsupportive family structures and peer pressure. So that means this perception of cool or progressive to smoke or use of drugs or alcohol, okay, is also by the television, movies, newspaper, internet. So we'll go you'll watch certain movie. In that movie, okay, so some character has a has a as is smoking the cigarette in a different way, in a style manner. So you also want to try it. Okay, why I cannot do this, I can also do like this. Okay, I can also smoke like that, or I can also drink like that. Okay, I can also do like this by taking this drug. So such certain perceptions will be developed. Okay, and along with that, okay, the adolescent stable or unsupportive family structures and peer pressure. Unstable and unsupportive family, that means for example, okay, whatever you want to do or whatever you want to study, okay, your family members might not be supporting, and you will feel okay not interested in what you are doing. In that case, you will be prone to this okay alcohol or drug abuse. And because of peer pressure, so that means okay, peer pressure in studying or in any other. So because of all this, it is provoking the adolescent to move towards the usage of this drugs or intake of this alcohol or smoking. Okay, that is okay. That's why the adolescent age is the very important period in the life, which will help you either to go in a right way or in a wrong way. Okay, to choose your best life in your later period of time. So that's why this is the very important period of a period in any person. Okay, that is okay, that is some of the concepts related to this alcohol and drug abuse. Okay, remaining part will continue in the tomorrow class.